Hi, I'm John Price and this is my lovely wife Fiona. We live here at Lud Valley in Hera, Nelson North. Been here for 21 years.
21 years this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we built here. This was just a bare paddock when we came.
Yep.
And so yeah.
Put our little stamp on it and now we're trying to revert a lot of it back to native bush.
I guess when we looked at the property, there's quite a block of established bush down there which had been grazed, and we kind of thought, wow, we could actually look after that. And so we started there and fenced that off. And
that was quite remarkable, just the regrowth as soon as we fenced it off, like within 18 months.
Yeah.
There was a huge amount of Mojave wood coming away, and it was just really beautiful to see. Ferns, just didn't take long at all. And so that sort of inspired us. Then we pushed the fence out into the paddock further.
Yeah, and planted, I don't know how many more trees that you probably planted 20 years ago, and they're now, how tall would those rimu be?
20 feet.
Yeah, so we can actually go down there and look up at those trees and think, wow, that's growth that's happened since we've been here. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're quite big trees now. They're actually now self-seeding, which is really cool. You know, kakatea self-seeding and beech trees self-seeding. So first beech seedling saw the other day, which was pretty cool. We went a bit wrong when we first bought this property, like it was covered in a lot of gorse and big old man stuff down in the bush there, because the bush used to be grazed and it was just bare underneath with big old man gorse and blackberry. And spent a huge amount of time cutting it all out and treating the stumps, and then sort of realising later what I could have done was just cut out some little patches in the middle, planted, and let the gorse just protect it. And then the gorse would have got swamped out as the trees got above it. Old man beard is an ongoing problem that you're always going to have. You just have to look around the surrounding hillsides and see how much old man's beard there is, so you've always got that seed stock coming in.
We can clean ours up, but already we just went down the driveway and noticed straight over the fence, the neighbours, you know, and he's an old guy who's not going to be able to do that, so we've said to him...
You're not really old, Kevin.
We've said to him next year, you know, is he okay if we jump over his fence and actually clean that up? Because if we don't do that, then it's going to be back over in our place.
But there's not really any problems. It's just been, you know, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this, because it's enjoyable, you know.
Yeah.
So we're up on the ridge, and we're on the sort of right side of the valley. We get the sun first thing in the morning. Admittedly, we lose it at 4 o'clock on the shortest day, which is not too bad, you know. It's not here nor there. We get minimal frost. We do get frost, but it's not bad, is it? It's not.
Certainly we'll drive down the driveway in the winter and the valley floor will be solid white, but you know, we haven't had it too bad. Like you were digging a fence post this morning and it was into...
Pure rock. It's hard clay, but then again, natives don't mind clay. You know, acid loving, so it's sort of rotten rock clay. It's got very good sharp drainage, so we don't have a problem with swampiness or muddiness. It's just, it's just hard getting the plants and getting them established, because they do dry out very quickly in the summer.
I am wondering how we're going to get water to new plants.
The dry faces, the karnook is the best thing. And luckily here it regenerates pretty quickly. You just leave them bare and the karnook comes away.
Yeah.
It's just a carpet of karnook.
Yeah.
So fencing, yes, I mean obviously it's your primary thing. You've got to get the areas fenced off. You've got to protect your trees from stock, and it's got to be good fencing. If you don't do it well, your lambs will break through. 4 ended up on the dinner table very quickly one day because they just wouldn't stay out of the natives. And you know, we've got very good fences, like droppers, which are the wooden battens.
So you learnt a lot of your fencing skills from the farmer that had owned this whole property. So he spent quite a bit of time after he sold the property, just giving his time to us, really.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, and showed John how to make a good fence.
The farmer brought his dozer up and pushed some main farm tracks in for us, which was really useful and helpful. And then we just developed the bush tracks ourselves, just with pick and shovel. And
that was your job. I didn't do any track building.
Which is good fun, you know, it's nice. But also we've got good friends who own a company called Future Ecology, and they help do projects like this for farmers and councils and whatnot, and Doc. And he's been very helpful in terms of giving us advice. Like out there you'll see a big stack of old tree guards that have come off old plantings that are now established, and they usually just go into the landfill. We're recycling them, we're using them again, and then the following year we'll use them in the next paddock if they're still viable. But he's been really generous with, both Jan and Rob, very generous with their advice and information.
And they're local in this area, so yeah.
They gave to us liquid ambers, pin oaks, elms, all sorts of stuff that you'll see we planted all up in the middle paddock. So they are good for erosion. They've certainly stabilised the ground up there. The drought last year was a biggie. Well, this year actually, wasn't it, I suppose? And so we've just finished spending a lot of money putting in 2 big water tanks to collect our roof water. It just seemed irresponsible to be tipping all the water off the roof just straight over the bank and of no use except for one small patch of bush where it ran down. So we've collected that water. So that's sort of hopefully future-proofed us for the next drought, which I think are going to become more prevalent. We've got possum traps, we've got rat-based bait stations around the immediate house and down into the bush, which will extend out. So of course that's allowing the birds to come back. I mean, weka, as everyone's finding in Nelson, are just taking off. Yeah, and that's really lovely. We have families of weka chicks around here.
Not so lovely when they come in the house though.
So that has an ongoing effect. If you've got a little haven where the pests are kept under control, they can raise their chicks here and then move on. One of the evenings that the council put on, they talked about all the species, the importance of making sure that you're growing the right species in the right area and checking it all out and
looking at what's there.
Working with your supplier to make sure that you're planting the right species. I can't praise them enough and the support we're getting now with what we're doing. It's been fantastic. I've been involved in the business of planting trees as a profession, so she talked about what plants you're interested in, and she just worked with us, and she's had a look at the site, so she knows what's there and what is needed to plant, and so she said she'll go away and do a planting list and come back. So yeah, so I'm just grateful for whatever support we get. That's what the council's trying to establish. They are doing projects to get the community together.
Like the planting days down at
Parramatta Flats and the Waimarama Sanctuary project or the Grampians project, but all those things together and us doing our little bit here, and we're not the only ones in the valley that are doing stuff. It does have that flow-on effect, and so Jan and Rob are working with the council, and they have a neighbourhood project where people get together that are like-minded and discuss things like their plantings and what they're doing with their property and sharing advice and information, and so that's working really, really well.
It is about time and I guess prioritising. I think we are starting to be more aware of how we can be more involved with other things.
Yeah, and sharing your knowledge. Like the evening we had with the council recently, that was just fantastic because hearing other people's ideas and hearing some professional advice about how to do things properly. And the support's there, and if you don't use it, then you're a mug.
And I guess it's the timing as well. We're concerned about the planet and trying to start doing a bit. Both of our daughters are very, very passionate about, the environment and.
Yeah, we've got an environmental scientist for one daughter, so if we didn't do something, we'd be getting bloody.
So we've got them kind of encouraging us, and they're just rapt to see that the work that we've done, and
so they want to be involved in the planting project, so they're coming down in July to help with planting, which is really cool.
When we first moved here, way down the valley on the opposite side, gorgeous bush, and they just, what do they use? Roller crushed all of it to plant pines. And we could see this gorgeous native bush just being completely, it was really distressing to watch.
Now there's this real emphasis to protect those regenerating areas, and look at the Waka Waka River, the ongoing work there to protect that, and now we've got Cable Bay Adventures that's been bought by a local well-known sportsman, and he's keen to really develop and protect the river and do more native planting, which is fantastic. Again, it's going to have that flow-on effect. We'll all take advantage from it one way or the other. If you're wanting to establish bush areas, you've got to recognise it's hard work.
And you've got to enjoy spending a day we'll spend a day just down in the bush working and...
Just the benefits to the environment in general, you can't sort of underestimate, and that's what it's all about, like doing the neighbours' gully. You establish that, it creates a bit of a corridor up to our place, protects the stream all the way down, and then it's going to bring in bird life, and away it goes, and it's just, it's all about protecting the environment and making a difference.